Podcast. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? OPB. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for being here. I just want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody who has been a part of Outlaw Poet EP since I released it. It's been about a year. And this episode we're going to be celebrating that. This is the artwork right here, the Outlaw Poet EP. And it's really exciting. Over the past year I've had some podcast-esque videos, kind of OP blogs, what I call them, and they talked about individual songs while me and my family were traveling around the United States, and you can check those out. There's some pretty cool videos with some cool footage of where we were at the time. And so basically my goal for this podcast is to create a musical community of musicians, and mostly focusing on the Midwest, but there's so much good music out there and so many awesome people all over the country and all over the world. We'll see what happens. And this podcast is going to have some guests on it, and I want you to meet them, and I want you to really see how cool some of these people are. Today we're going to have a guy named John Wheeler. He's a singer-songwriter from the suburbs of Austin, Texas. His storytelling is phenomenal. He writes songs about living life, and he's great at guitar, so great at guitar. And he's one of the best finger pickers around, I think. And I always have a hard time giving a genre to certain musicians and their styles. But he's a mix of rag, folk, and jazz. Really, finger picking is his style, and the rest of the music kind of culminates together with the story that he's telling. And they just come together really awesome. I originally saw him on TikTok, and we had kind of become friends on there, and we had an interview, and it was great. And you'll get to see him, and you'll get to kind of get to know John Wheeler through the video that we had an interview on, and y'all are going to love it. But another thing that I'm trying to do with this Outlaw Poet podcast is promote my own music. Wow, what a shocker, right? Got to find ways to bring people in and show them the music that I've had and the music I've made and put out. And today we're celebrating Outlaw Poet EP, and that was the first thing I ever put out. And music is something that ascends all other arts, in my opinion. And sometimes it resonates in our soul and our bodies, and it's been something I've been obsessed with my whole life. There's been years where I've had like over 100,000 minutes listened on Spotify, and then 25,000 on YouTube. Just YouTube's got a lot of cool live songs that aren't on anything else really, and it's just been something that I've been passionate about and been called to do, and it's really important to me. And yeah, so anyways, there's gonna be some cool stuff for y'all to check out on here. So let's get after it. Today I'm gonna talk and celebrate 1 year of Outlaw Poet EP. As of now, Outlaw Poet EP has over 48,000 streams across all platforms. 50K first release, pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I would like it to be like 10 million, but that's going to take some time, and I feel like I've established a bit of a community so far, and some people like it all over the world. Lots of other countries where people have been listening, and just thank you to everybody who has been listening and supporting and sharing. And Outlaw Poet EP is made up of 4 songs that are going to be on the album called Tales of the Outlaw Poet. And some people ask, what does EP mean? And it means extended play. So basically it can be like a look at an upcoming project, some songs or some stuff from that project, or it can be just like a small fun project that's not quite long enough to be called an album. I wrote all the songs and recorded most of it at my home studio in rural Minnesota. I had many of the songs recorded, then I started traveling. And when I was on the road, I met my friend Gary Van Luling on Reddit, of all places. He was looking for some music to work on and mixing and mastering wise. And, I wanted to get some stuff out, and I didn't have enough skills I still don't quite have enough skills to get it all the way mixed and mastered. And he finished them up for me, and he has done some music on some other songs for me as well. And I picked up the 4 closest to being done songs that I had: Issues, One of a Kind, Broken, and Peace of Mind, and I sent them over, and there it was. So the first song is a song called Issues. It's the second song I ever wrote, and I wrote this song back, it's almost probably been a decade already. I think I was 19 or 20 when I wrote it. I was building houses, building custom homes, and I was up in rural Minnesota, real rural, in a town called Pengilly, very small, out on this lake. And we were building a big mansion for the CEO of, I think, Delta or Chick-fil-A at the time. I don't remember, but it was this huge house. And when you build a house, you start with the basement, and this basement was huge. It was like 15 feet deep, just this monster house. 15 feet deep by like, just huge. And I'm moving lumber back and forth all day. I'm the grunt, I'm the young kid, and I heard a song on the radio. I think it was The Sky's Crying by Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was like, you know what? I could write that song. I could write my own version of that song. So I started bum, 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 bum. Sometimes I dum dum. And all of a sudden, by the end of that workday, I had half of the song written, and I think the first two verses I had written. Sometimes I feel like I'm going under. I'm looking up at the walls of the house, and sometimes I feel like I was born to fly. That's what I want to do, right? Sometimes I feel like there's no place to hide. Do 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 do. Sometimes I feel my feet are nailed to the trusses, right? Because the next thing after the basement is you put the trusses on the house. And anyways, so I started writing that in there, and then I was actually spending the whole summer up there, and I went home and I sat in my tiny little crappy cabin, and I think I finished the rest that day. And then I had issues, and the song is pretty dear to me because it was the first song I ever really posted of me singing, especially an original, online. And I had posted it on Facebook, and all of a sudden I got a couple hundred likes, and over 1,000 people watched it, and that was pretty cool for me, especially 10 years ago. And the first song I had written, really, that I had posted, and a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people were reaching out saying things like, oh, you should be playing, let's hear more songs. And that was really kind of the start of it all. And at that point is when I started practicing singing, and I started practicing songwriting. And then I think from that video I got a gig at a local bar, and when I played that gig, it was, people had loved that. They were excited to come see me play, so this place was just packed. They said it had never been packed like that before. And when I played that song, everybody went crazy, and people were singing it back to me, and I loved that feeling, and I've kind of been chasing it ever since. And it was a good start. And the song is about letting go of someone who's bad for you. Kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And even though it's hard, it's, something you got to do, and something everybody does in their life. And they, romantic relationships, they come and they go, and some are meant to last and some aren't. And some are going to be sad about, and some you're not going to be sad about. And it was basically a song about thinking about it in your head, or having a conversation with someone about it, like you're just talking to them about it. And then, that relationship was kind of a crazy one, and the person had ended up moving to another continent. So there's a line in the song was, when we broke, it went continental, boom, boom, but I say if it could never be the same. So that song was just all sorts of things. But a lot of times on my shows, that's one of my favorite songs to play, and people like to sing that one back at me. And go check it out. Go stream it. Outlaw Poet EP Issues, #1. And the second song is a song called One of a Kind, and it's a little bit similar. It's maybe written 3 years after, a year and a half after I finished Issues, and I was in another relationship at the time, but I started writing the song, and bum, bum, dum, dum. I ended up kind of having that in my head for a long time, and then I kind of found the guitar that worked for it, and I was sitting out on my deck and when I lived in Eden Prairie, and I started kind of writing a little love song, and then it got shelved, got put on the side, put on the shelf for a long time, and I had never I really thought about it, not really cared about it too much. And then years later, I was like going through videos on my phone. I was like, oh, this is so pretty, you know. I'm gonna finish writing this song, and then I finished writing it, and didn't take much after that. Once I refound it, I'm kind of a memory now. It's like a thing in the past, and it's a little bit easier to write about things in the past than things that are happening now. And then when I recorded that song, I had one of my friends. Her name was Jewel, and she came over, and it was originally gonna be a lot more to the song, but I just she was kind of singing some other stuff when we were recording, and at the time she was playing some gigs with me, and when I was traveling, I couldn't find the right thing, and I just put her in the ooze, and I was like, you know what, that's beautiful, and that's what it was, and that's what kept there, and it's a simple song, really, with just a couple guitars, and yeah, that song is one of a kind. Then the third song is a song called Broken. It has kind of a similar story with how it was made. You know, I wrote the first verse a long time ago. I don't even remember, but it all just came to me. Broken piece of glass, shattered all too fast. I'm trying to find my say. The leaves on the trees weren't meant to last. They've died and they've blown away. Such a shame to see the circle incomplete when you left. You took your breath from me, a feather on the breeze, fell in wet concrete, now I'm stuck and buried to my knees. Right, so I had that, and then I had the next part of that verse, and I had the chorus, and then that sat for a long time, 5 years, and I remember I was just kind of thinking about it, and I was coming home from work one day, and you know, I work construction. Sometimes you just get home and you're just pooped, just tired, working all day. And I was sitting in my old Pathfinder. No, it was a Toyota 4Runner. Just sitting there looking out the window, and all of a sudden the second verse came to me. Just thinking about my life and my family and things that had been going on, and thinking about memories. And memories don't stay quite the same with age. Most of mine have brightened up. Put away the pain underneath the strain, and I filled it up with love. So then I went inside, I wrote it down real quick, and then it sat again for 2-3 years. Didn't really think about it. Then when I moved into my house, I bought a house 3 or 4 years ago, end of 2022. The last day of 2022, I bought a house, and I was moving stuff in, I was all by myself, and I remember I sat down on the couch, and I just thought, the song just kind of popped in my head, and I wrote the bridge, and then the song was finished. And kind of right after that, I started building the studio in my house, and that was kind of the first song I actually had recorded and worked on. And I did all the guitar, and that song's got some bass in it. My cousin Joe Blaser did the bass, and then a buddy of mine named Greg Hayes did the drums on that song, and it all came together real nicely, and it's just a pretty song. And the song is about, you know, a sad time in my life and a sad time for some family members, and just kind of the decay of family dynamic. And I really wrote it for my 2 younger siblings and how much I love them, and just wanted them to know that. And this was just my little ode to them, and life isn't fair, and you just got to keep trudging, and it will get better, and you can be broken, but I still love you, and we're all broken in our own way. And a lot of people think it's a relationship song about getting dumped and being sad, which it could be, and if that's how you see it and that's the memories that you have, then I'm happy to hear that. And that's a cool thing. We kind of talk about it with the interview with John Wheeler later. You'll see how songs, you think they mean something, but they kind of come from different places, and they go different places for people. And the last song on the Outlaw Poet EP is a song called Peace of Mind. Super simple song. It's just a finger-picking song. Boom, ka-dum, 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 and it's kind of the acoustic version. And the Outlaw Poet, Tales of the Outlaw Poet, will probably have a little bit more going on. But it's just super simple, and it's kind of the goodbye song for my shows. And it's just about being sad, and I honestly I don't remember a whole lot about writing this song, and but there's a line in a different song I have called "Late Night Stanley" where it goes, "A lonely soul takes a lonely road." But I originally wrote that was the first line I had written for "Peace of Mind," and I wrote the whole song surrounding that line, and I never could find the place for that line in the song. So that song ended up going to "Late Night Stanley," and it fit perfectly. It's just kind of silly. I had that line stuck in my head for months, just trying to find the right way, and then I wrote "Peace of Mind" around it, and like I said, it just never found a home in the song, so it got sent somewhere else. Um, yep, and but you know, "Peace of Mind," the saying is spelled different. I have a PIECE, peace of mind, like a piece of the mind, like a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of just about the duality of myself and the character of of these albums, and the difference between Johnny Williams and the Outlaw Poet. Are they the same person? Are they different people? A little bit of both. It's not. You're gonna have to see if you're gonna have to follow along, and you're gonna have to tell. And yeah, and that's Outlaw Poet EP, and all the people who have listened and all the people who have been a part of it, I want to thank you. And each one of these songs has a specific spot in the upcoming album, Tale of the Outlaw Poet. They each are a part of a story, and it's a little different for the EP, but you'll get to know them, and once you hear the album, you'll kind of see how the story of the album starts from the beginning to the end. And that's something I'm really excited about. And then once we get to the album, they're all going to sound a little different. I really wanted to have kind of a couple different versions of the song. People who like music as much as me, I wanted them to be able to hear it and enjoy that. And a lot of artists I really like Paul Nutini, for instance. His third album, he put out an EP with some songs on from the album, and they're just like a little bit different, and it's so cool, and I really love that part of the artistic take. And so coming up, I'm gonna have a couple projects that are coming out. I've got a 3-song project that's more of like a folky hip-hop style, I could say. My friend Gary, he's a beat maker, and he's very good, and it's been a few years since I really liked hip hop or cared much about rap, but there was a time in my life where I listened to a lot, and I spent a lot of time writing raps and writing hip hop. And if it wasn't for that time in my life, I probably wouldn't be as confident in the songs that I write, honestly. And we would just stay up all night, and we'd rap, and we'd freestyle, and we'd just have a good time. And it was pretty notorious for some pretty good rhymes back in the day. But so when he sent me these beats, or some beats, we kind of created some, and he sent me some beats where he's like, hey, do something on this. And I was just so busy with my other songs that I didn't have time. But finally, recently, I wrote a poem, actually. It's called Vipers. I wrote that over the last, I don't know, few months. And right now, with everything going on, it's like I just see the vipers everywhere. And I played some guitar, and he kind of took that guitar and he started making some really cool beats off of that, and the lyrics. So the first song is going to be called Vipers. And the second one is going to be a song called But It's You. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the name yet. But that's also a song that's been with me, 2 different songs. I wrote a rap a long time ago, and I also wrote like the hook for it a long time ago. And we're working on that beat. That one needs some work, but it'll come along quick, I think. And then there's going to be a song called Find Me. And it's just going to be kind of a fun, woodsy, rednecky, hip-hop song. And I think you guys are really going to like it. So far, I've got some stuff down, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, and then I've got another single, and I've got a couple covers coming out, and then I've got Outlaw Poet EP 2. And that's going to be 4 songs. Spaceman, Better Places, Late Night Stanley, and Clouds Turn Pink. 4 awesome songs. If you see me at shows, I play them all. And really excited for them. Really super duper excited for these songs, and I think you're really gonna like them. And yeah, all right. Well, now we're gonna get into the interview with John Wheeler. I was super excited to meet him. I've been a fan ever since I saw his first TikTok. I reached out to him, and after I had released my music, I really was reaching out to people and pushing my stuff. And there was only a few people who ever really like responded, and John Wheeler was one of them. And I've been following along and watching his journey kind of from afar. We're about as far away as you can be from each other, Minnesota and Texas. I mean, maybe all the way up in Maine and California is the only farther place, but pretty far away. And it's been cool to see him. And let's watch as we get to know John Wheeler. All right, Mr. John Wheeler, thanks for stopping by. It's nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you.
I hope you're having a good day. So let's get started. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your music you got going on right now?
I'm a guitarist and a plumber and a songwriter here in Austin, Texas. Uh, Try to put out music as much as possible and play music as much as possible. I don't know, but mostly I'm a plumber, and I will say, but songwriting is the passion for sure. Not making a living off of it, but doing it for fun, and some people are listening, which is cool.
Yeah, well, I'm listening and I'm a big fan. I was introduced to your stuff on TikTok about a year ago. So I know that you have 40,000 followers, and that's pretty dang impressive. And how did that happen?
I went on there, just you know, I put some music out, and I heard it was a good way to get people to listen to it, and so I went on there and was just playing my songs, and then you just kind of you see the numbers, and you just want to try out a bunch of different things, and then that I just posted a video close up to my right hand playing a part, and it kind of went big, and so then I was like, okay, I guess I'll just keep doing that. And
Oh, sure. So it was just the pick in hand.
yeah, just that
Or
right.
handed?
What? No, I'm right-handed, but it like switches it. So I have to tell people all the time. I'm like, oh, they're always like, oh,
Sure.
best lefty guitarist on TikTok. And I'm like, oh man, it's just flipped.
Right. Yeah. I was looking at some videos the other day. I was like, dang, I didn't know he was left-handed.
No, yeah, it like I don't know why TikTok does that. It flips it, but yeah.
That's strange. So just all of a sudden you got a couple viral videos, and all of a sudden one day you had a whole bunch of followers, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And then I just tried to direct them to some songs, and they liked a couple of the songs. A couple of them stood out to the people, and then other people started covering them,
Oh, nice.
and so
That's awesome.
it went from there. Yeah.
And that was after you had released your first Conflicting Stories album?
Yep. Yeah. That was after that. That was, I think, March of last year that I put out. Or was it 2 years ago now?
2024. So what?
Yeah. The 2 years. Right.
A
Oh
little
yeah.
bit over a
Last
year.
year, March of last year. Yeah. I keep thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say now your main focus on TikTok is?
I just put out another one, another little collection of songs. So I want to direct people to that. And, also it's cool to meet people, like we've met on TikTok. It's cool to see the community aspect of it.
Yeah, there really is a vast type of people that are on TikTok.
Totally. Yeah. And, it
Everybody,
results in real people coming to shows sometimes, which is neat. And, yeah, so just kind of more of that, nothing. I don't really have any goals necessarily. Like, I think the account is like as big as it'll probably get, and that's fine, and I'm pretty happy with it because
maybe.
you
I
know
mean, you're a very talented person and you're very talented at guitar. I noticed that you give a lot of like lessons,
yeah,
talks. Um,
totally. Yeah.
is that do you like teaching people music, or is that
Yeah, I guess I feel kind of guilty. That's what started the lessons. It's just like people, it's just the right hand, and people are getting mad at me because I'm not showing the left hand. I was like, I'll teach you. I'll teach you for sure. I didn't want to be like a TikTok guitar teacher. You know, I wanted to make sure that people knew because that is its own skill that I've never developed, and you know, it deserves its own amount of time and respect given to that art of teaching people. And I wouldn't claim to be that, but throwing little tips out there, it just seems like if you want people to watch your stuff, you got to kind of offer them a reason to, and like especially if you're not interesting, like sometimes the music isn't just, it's not interesting enough, but if they can learn how to play it, then they'll really fall in love with it and kind of see, you know, maybe like what my thought process was coming up with it, or they'll see how simple it actually is. You know, it may sound complicated, but it's actually pretty simple, and I think that's satisfying for people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. It's definitely cool to see it kind of come together, and it's intricate stuff. I mean, you're a very good guitar player, and
appreciate
but
that.
people got to practice. You know, I saw you do some covers of some other songs and on TikTok, and one of the questions I have is where do you learn how to do these covers, and what's your source of information? Do you just listen to it and you can visualize it, or do you have to go online, or is there a book? You know, where do you find that?
um you know, the originally, like the first stuff I was learning, I used a book. I used Alan Jaffe has a book of rags, and I really loved Dave Van Ronk, and he plays a lot of rag, finger picking, Travis picking stuff. And I was like, I just want to learn one rag. So I bought this book, and I think I tried 4 songs before I found one that was like within my skill level to learn. And I learned that song. And then once you have learned songs in certain keys, you can kind of hear it, like because the tabs aren't always available. Sometimes I'll, you know, if there's a tab available, I'm probably gonna look at that for sure. Or if there's a YouTube of them playing, you know, but just if I hear a song that sounds challenging and fun to play, then you know it seems worth it to go for it. Then
So you know how to read music and you know how to look at tabs and
yeah,
just
tabs for sure. Reading music for guitar, no, I can't do that. Like sheet music, but I can read the tabs for sure.
so what is the difference between tabs and chords?
Well,
Like
chords,
learn a song a lot of times I have an app that is mostly just chords.
yeah. And that's good because then you can figure out the fretting from there if you know the chords or where the capo is, especially, and then the chords, you know, because most of the time these people are using capos. But
Right.
uh yeah, I like the tab is like the single notes, you know, like so like especially with Travis picking stuff, like a lot of what I do is Travis picking. You can know the chords, but you don't sometimes they're playing that chord, and you can play a chord in so many places up the neck, you know, so it helps to have the numbers on there to tell me where their fingers are. But
How are
a
tabs
YouTube
so
video is
so
better.
each string has a number or each string has like an assigned symbol or how does it work?
Yeah, like it's like each string is on the staff, like
Okay.
and then so it's like 6 lines,
Right.
and then like an open strumming that note would be a 0, and then like
Sure.
one to however many frets there are going that way, if that makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
and then it just shows like say you're finger picking, it will show in like the whatever the four like whatever the beat is, it'll show you where on that beat that you need to be
totally.
that
Yeah.
string. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it. And then, you know, a lot of people ask me to make tabs, and I can't do that. I tried. I downloaded the software for it. It's hard. It takes
I bet.
time. But the you know, a YouTube video I found is the best way to learn. Like if
Yeah.
I could watch somebody play it, then you see the tricks they're using to make it easier, you know, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, pretty much everything I've learned on guitar, I've learned on YouTube.
yeah,
Marty Schwartz, he's been a savior for me. He's showed me, taught me how to play a lot of songs.
nice. Yeah.
Mostly. Have you ever heard of Marty Schwartz?
I haven't.
Oh,
Check it
he's a
out.
he's a really cool guy. He's been putting out content for at least 15 years because he had lots of stuff before I started. All right, and then so I noticed in your videos you have a few different guitars that kind of pop up frequently.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite or what is it? Which
I
one you'll do? Why don't you tell me about those?
you know, lately I don't say I have a favorite. The last week or so, I've been playing this Telecaster a lot. It's like a Telecaster that a friend of mine made.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And you know, playing an electric is it's really satisfying to, you know, finger pick on a Telecaster if you can get good tone and stuff. And there's a lot
Sure.
of great players, so that's been fun. And then the 12 string isn't the newest guitar I have, and I've been playing that quite a lot too. So
Right. 12 string really is a cool instrument. I have
yeah,
12 string as well, and it's just something about it. But finger picking is not as easy on a 12 string as it is on a 6 string.
yeah, for sure. Like if I'm not wearing the finger picks, then I'm, you know, bumping into strings I don't want to be bumping into and
Right.
stuff for sure. The finger picks make it a little nicer because it's just like a smaller contact point.
Sure.
Uh,
So
but
have you always been able to play with finger picks, or is that something that's happened kind of new?
in the last like 2 years, I've been developed like trying to. I really liked was like, okay, I need to figure out how to do this, just because uh, a lot of songs I learn they're pretty fast, and I know like the speed isn't really possible without them for me personally. Like it just allows me to play a little bit faster and more clear. And like a lot of the players that I really like use finger picks, and so um, you know, I liked the tone already of that. But
It
I like going back and forth there too, because the tone is so different, you know.
definitely.
Yeah,
I've recently, over the last 6 months, started putting into my practice schedule some finger picks and the thumb pick. The thumb pick is was a little bit trickier for me, but now it's starting to get the hang of it, and it really does add a lot of sound,
totally.
a lot of the tone
Volume.
is really cool too. But I
Yeah.
definitely can tell the sound is just so much louder.
Yeah, for sure. Got muting is harder too, because like the
Oh,
distance is so it like creates distance between your fingers and the frets that are in the strings that wasn't there before. That was the hardest hurdle for me. I don't know about you, but
yeah. So have you always been kind of a finger picker? Has that always been kind of your style?
yeah, I never really learned how to hold a flat pick as much as people were trying to teach me. I just was stubborn about it. And so when I was a kid learning like Led Zeppelin songs and stuff like that, I was just whacking my hand, strumming, you know, like that, you know,
Yeah, that's
like
funny.
the finger picking songs.
That's funny. Yeah, I have had very similar process. I play all my gigs with my fingers, just kind of strumming. I got a real good flick,
Yeah.
using that kind of flicking, just kind of giving her. And
Yeah.
recently, I started playing with a pick for the last year and a half or so. But before that, I never would. But
Yeah. I wish I could. I love Julian Lodge and Chris Eldridge and a lot of these amazing flat pickers, you know. I wish I could do what they're doing sometimes, you know. And so maybe one day.
who knows? You'll probably be able to pick it up pretty quick, I bet, because I feel like it's not that different than the thumb pick.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Because
an
like
interesting way
the
to
thumb
think
pick,
about it.
you know, the pick stays the same way. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's really not. Someday you'll be like, oh, maybe I'll just try it for the song. You'll be like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah. No, you saying that even makes me want to pick one up now because I'm like, oh, I never thought about it like that.
Well, I like having kind of a bigger pick. Like
Hmm.
I've got some of these Fender picks, and I've got like one that's a little bit harder too, kind of for different sounds. Like when I'm playing gigs, I like to have this one, and it's kind of just like a little bit of a softer sound. But when I'm like in my studio making some music, or say I have a song that's a little bit more like picking, I use my other pick that's a little bit harder. But something about it being bigger for me made it more appealing, and I liked it. But
Cool.
there's so many different types of picks, like hardwood, like even some metal, some
Right.
different plastics. I've got a metal thumb pick actually that I'll play with sometimes, and that
Yeah,
thing's
I've got one of those too. Yeah. That's an interesting tone for sure.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm always worried if I get carried away, I'm gonna just pop strings left and right with that thing. But yeah.
Whatever. The price of good music, right?
Right.
All right. So for your background a little bit. So what has your musical life consisted of? Where did you learn how to play music? What started the journey for you? Was it listening? Was it playing? Was it the people around you?
Yeah, I think it was listening, mostly listening. You know, I remember having CDs growing up. Both my parents, neither of them were musical, but they both loved music lovers and had super different taste. Like my mom's like loves Prince and, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Okay.
stuff like that.
R&B style.
Yeah, like she loves grooves. Lately, she likes Migos. You know, that was the most recent band I heard. This group that she loves. But
With me. Okay.
yeah, and then my dad was a Deadhead, Led Zeppelin, and he showed me some of those older kind of folk-driven rock and roll groups. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, we're shout out to Prince because Minnesota,
Oh yeah, true. Forgot about that connection there. Yeah.
may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
So how
And
would you
amazing
say that
guitarist.
what's that?
Oh, I was gonna say an amazing guitarist
Oh,
too.
he really
Yeah,
is an amazing
incredible. See him
guitarist.
on acoustics.
Just as a musician, he's one of the greatest. Have you ever
He's
seen that
cool too.
video of him playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps with all those other stars?
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's amazing.
It's got, who does it have? It has one of the Beatles. It has like a couple. It's like one of those celebrations for a musician, and has a bunch of really famous guitar players, and then it has Prince and
Nice.
like Tom Petty's in there,
Cool.
dude from Yellow
Sure.
in there,
Yeah.
a couple other ones, and Prince is kind of sitting on the corner, and everybody does their own guitar solo, and then at the end Prince does his guitar solo, and everybody's basically just like,
Yeah.
and then at the end he picks his guitar up and he throws it behind his back, and you just like never see it come down. It's just an epic performance. It's really cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how would you say that local music has influenced you?
Oh, huge, huge. Like I said, like when I was in like the years that I was really starting to listen to a lot of music, I was in Cedar Park, which is in just outside of Austin, but could come down to see some of the people that played around town when I was in high school, and that there's amazing talent. Matt the Electrician was my favorite.
Matt the Electrician, huh?
Yeah, he was super super cool. Really was an electrician. Just a great like folk songwriter. Still plays around town. Um, Scrappy Judd played on like his one of his live records, and he's a guy that's been playing around town a lot. Sue Foley, an amazing guitarist, I got to see in high school. There's a million names, and plus the history of it. Like this is where Towns lived, and Blaze Foley.
Towns Van Zandt. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that from Austin. I'm actually a huge fan of
Oh
Towns.
yeah, yeah, man.
Oh,
Towns
that's
is
can't be that big of a fan if I don't know where he's from, right?
No, you're good. You're good. I don't think he's from here, but I know he lived in town, and like the one of the venues I get to play at, Hole in the Wall, is they said that him and Blaze like shared a residency there, and
Wow,
Blaze
those
would
are
like,
my
sleep on
favorite.
the pool table and stuff.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, we
Yeah.
have some places like that in Minnesota we have some stories in some of the venues there, but those are two of my favorite guys. I would sit on that table and
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great spot.
go
Their
if
faces are above us every time we're playing. That's
oh cool.
so it's nice. Yeah.
So do you listen to a bit of those guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I liked Blaze before Towns. I think that listening to Towns is tough just because of like the weight of him is so
Right.
much, and he's so sad, but nobody. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. He's amazing.
Songwriter, amazing, like guitar picking, amazing,
Yep,
style, amazing. Blaze or Towns really is. I grew up listening to a lot of Bob Dylan. Well, I didn't grow up listening to a lot, but when I really started my own love of music, Bob Dylan was there, and
totally. Me
Towns
too.
Van Zandt kind of came in. He kind of really pushed out Bob Dylan for some reason for me, and
No, that's cool.
I
That's cool.
remember I remember Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. I remember hearing that song and thinking, oh, this is the best song to ever exist. And then as I got older, I listened to more music, and I kind of grew away from that song. But then I remember I heard "I'll Be Here in the Morning" by Towns Van Zandt. I just
Hmm.
thought to myself, like, I bet that he's heard Bob Dylan's song. He's like, you know what, Bob Dylan, you're kind of a douchebag. And then he wrote that song, and that's just my own headcanon. And
Yeah, sure.
was better personally and kinder. And
Hmm. Yeah.
oh, there it goes again.
All good. Yeah. No,
And
yeah, he's a legend.
Blake
He's
Foley.
worshipped here.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Towns is worshipped here for sure. His name is held in deep reverence in Austin. So
Yeah, Blake
always.
Foley too. He's really cool. Like I I'm pretty new to understanding or to knowing Blaze. 2 years ago or so, I was kind of in a John Prine kick, and I heard Clay Pigeons, and that song was just blew me away. Just
Hmm.
it blew me away. One of my favorite songs ever. And then like John Prine is such a great songwriter, and I didn't even know he didn't write it until I saw a video of him performing it live. He's like, I normally don't play other people's songs, but this one was so good. I was like, wait. Who? Who's the guy that wrote
Yeah,
this incredible
Blaze.
song? And that's how I was introduced to Blaze Foley, and then listened to a bunch of his music after that. And Clay Pigeons is, I think, one of the best songs to ever come.
Totally. He's got a lot of really great songs, that Blaze.
He does.
Um, yeah, and he's like very much like, to me, like what Austin used to be. He represents a big part of that, and just in his spirit and like his goofiness and just his caring for others, like all the stories I've heard surrounding Blaze are pretty amazing. Like he was an amazing guy.
Just
So
a nice guy, huh?
yeah,
That's
totally.
awesome. So you've met people that have met these guys.
I don't know if I've met anyone that was like close to them or anything, but definitely a lot of people who went and got to see them play at places like the Hole in the Wall and stuff like that. Um, but not really. I know somebody that got to play with Mance Lipscomb a lot, which is pretty cool too, if you know that name. He's a legendary Texas blues songwriter,
Oh, okay. I'll have to check
very
them.
amazing finger picker, and yeah, there's a great open mic here at this legendary venue that both Towns and Blaze played at, and called the Cactus Cafe on campus. And so many amazing names have been in there. But yeah, I'm the guy. There's just like there's sometimes you'll meet somebody random there that's like, yeah, I used to play with Mance Lipscomb,
Sure.
and just blows you away. So it's kind of.
So what is Austin City Limits? So I've seen lots of videos of live performers playing at Austin City Limits. What exactly is that?
So there's the festival every year, which is kind of like, big names come out to that big music festival,
Right.
Oak Park. But there's also the ACL live tapings, which happen like in studio and really hard to get tickets to, and amazing names play there. Um, it's kind of like I guess it's, one of my best friend used to work for ACL. And I still can't tell you exactly what it is. It seems like an overarching name for that kind of
Just kind of a
just
bunch of stuff music related.
yeah,
Right.
totally. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I've seen lots of awesome videos from Austin City Limits.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like one of my
Oh,
favorite Guy Clark videos is with his ACL live taping. Like,
yeah, I've heard some Guy Clark, yeah.
yeah.
Who would you say are some of your biggest musical influences outside of well, they could be the same ones that you mentioned earlier that your parents showed you, but your own musical life when you started loving music and started really being interested, who would you say some of your biggest influences have been?
Yeah. I think in terms of showing me in the past few years, since playing out and stuff like that, I guess I'll like kind of work backwards. Like the people I've met that I've gotten to play with and have met like playing shows and open micing and stuff like that, those it's humbling to see how much talent there just is in the world, especially like in this town, in Austin. And so a lot of the songwriters I've met here have been big influences. Like just my peers have been the biggest influence in the last 3 years or so. But I guess when I was a kid, like I said, Led Zeppelin, you know, it's not really close to what I'm doing songwriting wise, but that's the first. I remember my dad sitting me down, and he went and bought Led Zeppelin 4 like from Best Buy, like when they used to sell CDs, and he was like, we're gonna listen to this all the way through, and because this is the greatest album ever made, and it gets to Stairway, and he was telling me that, like, the day that his dad died, that he sat and listened to Stairway to Heaven on repeat, which is like kind of, in hindsight, it's like uh, a little bit funny. I guess like it sounds weird to say that's kind of funny, but if you knew my dad, it's a little bit funny. But it also just showed me like what music can do, and so that was like the first time like I think I thought about music as something like bigger than just entertainment.
Right.
But and then later in high school, I knew who Steve Earle was first, and then when I started listening to Justin Townes Earle, that was like, he was younger and fresh, and he was barely ever using a flat pick, like, which is like the open hand stuff. The open hand guitar playing was amazing from Justin Townes Earle. And I also loved Elliott Smith, though, and Matt the Electrician was a big one. I could see somebody that was just out there working and playing music to audiences that loved him here in town. And
Lit a fire under you, seeing local people really loving someone, huh?
totally, yeah, that was cool. And I thought it was just like an Austin thing, and I thought it was like this town based, but it's everywhere, everywhere's got that. And Minnesota's got one of my favorites, came out of there, Mason Jennings. You know who that is?
Jennings. I feel like I've seen the name, but I guess I don't. I'll have to
Yeah,
check.
he's great. He's like
Really?
super fun
No,
songwriter.
I'm in Minnesota.
I think he's originally from Hawaii,
Oh, okay.
but I know he made it there in Minnesota.
Oh
Which,
wow, that's
yeah,
cool. I'll have to check him out. Mason
yeah.
Jennings.
I think he
Let's
was in
look him
St.
up right now. Let's see what pops up.
Yeah.
Bet you I bet you a lot of people I follow will be knowing him. Mason Jennings. And what kind of music is he?
Um, Sort of like that pop folk, a little bit, definitely like more poppy than probably the stuff I'm coming out with. But
Okay. I've
you
seen this
know,
guy
very poetic.
base around, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
very cool guy. Um,
And after listening to your music, it's not, I feel like it's not funny, or there definitely is a correlation between Led Zeppelin and your own music. And Led Zeppelin, they're storytellers, I feel like,
totally.
your music is very storytelling based and very visualized in words, I think. I listen to the song, it's like you close your eyes and there's a music video playing in your head.
Cool.
Personally, that's what I think, and I think that's really something about music that I like. And you don't even notice how good the guitar and how good the instrumentals are because it seems so natural to the music. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin, like I play pretty much a lot of folky stuff, but I had a huge Pink Floyd influence in
Oh, cool. Yeah.
stories that they tell. And I haven't listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin personally. They're on the list of artists to learn, but I don't know if I'm old enough yet. But there'll be a time where I feel like I want to dive into Led Zeppelin and really appreciate it. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan personally. I've read the books and
Oh, yeah.
more of the books than the movies. One of those guys.
Yeah, for
Led
sure.
Zeppelin has talked about Lord of the Rings and some of their books or some of their stories and stuff. So I always thought
Yeah,
that.
they've got that whole kind of fantasy language going on in their songs for sure. So, yeah.
Okay, what's our next question? So, would you say that when you listen to Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, that's when you fell in love with music, or would you say that there was like another moment that you can just visually remember where all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I like music, like this is my life in my heart, like something along those lines. Has there ever been a moment like that for you?
Um, you know, I think it's been like a culmination of a lot of moments. I have a lot. I feel like every few years I do have a moment like that at a show where it's like you react physically to like the music that's being performed.
Right.
The two times that I can think about it right now, like in college, I went to college in Utah, and they have the Utah Symphony there, which is amazing.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
I saw like a Conrad Tao played Piano Concerto Number 2, Prokofiev's Piano Concerto Number 2, and for I hadn't heard anything like it, and it was just one of these. It was like so expressive, and this way that I hadn't experienced before. That was something. That was a moment that where I knew that I wanted my life to be around like the feeling that music can make, and I'm certainly not making classical music or anything like that, but or anything as complicated as what they're playing, but it was the
I,
performance,
I personally thought that maybe you might have had a classical background after listening to your music and re-listening. And It's like I wonder if he maybe played some classical music because your notes are so precise and like so you your guitar is played like a piano and sometimes just like
Oh,
so precise and it's like
interesting. I
I was
wish I was a piano player all the time, you know.
oh you still got time. You still
Yeah.
got still a
Um,
young man, not even 30.
yeah. But yeah, that, and then the last time I experienced that was just at the like that mic I was talking about. There's at the Cactus Cafe, guy named Philip Gibbs, who's been an Austin songwriter for like the last 20 years. And, he went up there and played a song. Another Place to Disappear was the name of the song. And it was just like, it was one of my first times at the mic, and I was just like blown away by the storytelling and the performance. It was like he's an understated guitar player, amazing guitarist. And, it's just about going to different places. And this is just one more place to disappear, and it starts in Austin, and then makes his way to New York, LA, and then to the mountains. And, it's an amazing song, very Woody Guthrie.
Okay.
Is how he put it. But
And what about him? Just he had a song that was just incredible and all of a sudden you just were hooked on this guy or what?
yeah, like it was just like I had like an emotional experience to it. Definitely like on the verge of tears, if not a couple fell down. And it was just like, he was doing something for me and for the audience by sharing this song, and then the way he shared it in like such an honest way. And it was just something that I wanted to do, like so bad. I was like, I wish I want to write a song that's that good, that stirs people the way I've just been stirred, but
Well, you have some songs that have done that to me, John Wheeler.
thanks, man.
We will
I'm
get,
glad.
we'll get to those soon and which ones they were. But I'm excited. I am excited to see what happens with your career because I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big
Thank
fan.
you.
So, what made you just to decide to like, I'm gonna make an album. I'm gonna actually pursue some music and put my work out there for people to enjoy. That feeling you got, something similar than kind of what you're just talking about, or what?
Yeah, there's that. And then just sort of like, people compare Austin and Nashville. Nashville is like very like precise, very like people are taking it seriously as they should. And, there's the Nashville style. And then Austin is kind of like more to me, like you're more likely to see a bad show
No.
here, but like people are being more expressive and they don't care about fitting in or being they don't care about mainstreamness, and that freedom of just like I just want to like people just are constantly just making things for the sake of making them. And I think like embracing that mentality about making albums and making EPs and stuff like that, I've tried to take that like to the most extreme as possible and just be like, yeah, I just want to make things. Like I have microphones. And so that first one, I I didn't know how to record at all. But a lot of people encouraged me. Like my best friend that I started doing open mics with, she encouraged me. She was like, "You need to record something and put it out there." And so I had a lot of people telling me to do it. And then I had a friend that I made, Zach Schaefer, who plays a lot of the other instruments on that album. We just made it in his house over the course of a couple months, and then did the artworks by another songwriter who I really respect and is a painter. And just kind of came together like that. And then when it was done, I was so scared about being perceived just by those songs. I felt like I had to make another one
Oh,
quickly, you know.
huh.
And then I've just been making them by myself since then. So,
And the first one was conflicting stories, right?
yep, yeah, that's the first one. Yeah,
You got the thing you just said. Can you expand on that a little bit? You were
about being nervous about the.
well. You said that you were afraid people were gonna just see you for those songs. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think I picked a lot of songs that were like pretty personal. Um, and I didn't want to be, I felt like, it's easy to feel like you're oversharing, and maybe some of it is oversharing, but that's kind of the only way I know how to write. It's like the only space where I can just be like, be super honest, but also spin things to make them even more honest. I don't know. It's like you can,
I
but
get it. I as a songwriter, it's hard being vulnerable in that way, but at the same time, it's the only way you can be.
yeah, it's the most thrilling way to be.
Yeah.
It's very personal. It's very satisfying, and but yeah, and so I just kind of got nervous about it. Songs about my family, songs about hiding liquor, and it was just like it was just a little bit too raw. And I was like, well, I can also just write fun songs. So I put out that other one. It was just supposed to be like 4 fun songs.
Sure. Well, so let's get into conflicting stories. So this is why were these songs the ones you chose to be your first release? I mean, you're
Um,
talking about the songs that they're pretty personal ones, and how did you end up with those ones?
yeah, I think they're not the first songs I was writing, but they're probably like the third wave of songs I was writing. And I think I picked them because I felt like I was finally, saying something about myself and about like where I'm coming from in a way that I actually identified with. Because a lot, and the songs that lasted, I kept playing them out, and so I knew they were keepers. Um, and they just seemed fun to record. They just seemed like I could perform them well, and so that's kind of why I picked those songs because.
You're like, I want to get some songs out. I got these ones I'm working on right now. I'm really killing them. Let's just get them out and let's get this started, kind of.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So what is the writing process like for you when you're writing a song? Like, how do you do it? Where does it start? Are they all the same or is it all kind of different?
Definitely different every time. Um, a lot of time, but pretty much always they're gonna start in that time. I try to, take at least a couple hours a day and just play my guitar. And when something's coming together that I like, then I just kind of I've always got like I just kind of try to look and see what I'm thinking about, or I just free associate some words until there's something real.
To kind
And
of scat a little bit and kind of hum along and
yep,
the
yeah,
right mesh of sound and guitar and
totally, yeah.
kind of
Just try to
yeah that, huh?
communicate with the try to maintain that connection with wherever songs come from, and
So
and
Conflicting Stories is a pretty personal album,
yeah.
and like you're saying earlier, so those personal ideas and those personal things in your album, would you say those were maybe written out before you started playing the songs, or you started playing the songs and all of a sudden you're thinking back on something and all of a sudden it comes to you?
I'm a pretty avid journaler. And so I feel like a lot of those ideas I had expressed in a journal at some point, and then some of those things were things I was processing in real time for sure as I was writing the song. But uh, you know, I think, yeah, I think that there were things that I'd thought about, and ideas that I knew could be a song. And so then they just kind of, and they just kind of stay into your back brain until they come out with a guitar part or with a feeling. So, yeah.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the first song on that album is Family Tree, and it's a really simple, happy sound and a fun little story.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then it comes with, the next song is Out of Sight, Out of Mind.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard that one, I got a little Jack Johnson-y vibe, kind of
Cool. Yeah.
a little
Definitely
different.
listened to him in my youth. Uh,
Big Jack Johnson fan over here as
yeah,
well.
man, he's underrated. Like he gets bad rap seems.
His guitar is way underrated too, because
Yeah,
it is really is a good choice of notes and chords, and like nobody else really sounds like him. And Hozier kind of sometimes kind of sound similar in some guitar.
totally. Yeah, and I respect his journey. Like people give him a bad rap for like, oh, he's just writing songs about the environment now, and it's like, well, that's what he cares about.
Yeah,
So
He's made that clear pretty much his whole life that,
Yeah.
and he got his journey is really cool too. He started as a filmmaker, and he was in
Right.
film
Surfer guy.
school,
Right.
made a documentary about his surfing life.
Yeah.
Thought I can't pay anybody to play music in here, so I'll just write my own songs for it. And all of a sudden, he's winning awards for the best soundtrack in these indie films, and
So
boom,
cool.
yeah, he's definitely very cool.
Yeah.
The next song is "Here for the Moment," and that's probably my favorite song on the album. I think.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
I could see that story in my own life, and
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like I kind of get it. But where does that story take you? What's it about?
Uh, I think that song, it came, a lot of songs come from like a guilty feeling, I think it's just the feeling of like you're you're with somebody, whether it's a friend or somebody that's romantic in that situation. I think it was like something romantic and you just kind of know it's not going to last type of thing, that kind of classic, just, well, I know it's got a termination date on it because I've done this before, and here I'm only here for the moment, and then
Rip, rest in peace. My thing's falling off again.
oh yeah, you're good.
Oh, bad tape. Let's see. Sorry to do that, but
No worries.
that's kind of exactly what I felt. When I
Yeah.
heard the song, it's like some things are only temporary, and sometimes you don't got anything else. And
Yep.
you,
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, I like the whole album, but and then okay, what's the next one? Once Around, phenomenal. You know,
Mhm.
so what would you say the difference between writing a song with words and writing a song that's just an instrumental? How does that different in when you're writing?
Yeah, I think when I very first was coming, like playing guitar, and I didn't think I was going to sing at all. I wanted to be,
Really?
like John Fahey and Glenn Jones. I kind of really fell in love with that style of guitar playing, that American primitive scene, even though it's kind of a loose term. And so those are the songs that, I think I spend the most time on, honestly. And they are, those I'm trying to communicate a feeling, and like John Fahey's such a storyteller with his guitar playing, and same with Glenn Jones and Leo Kaki and all those guys. Um, and as soon as I feel like I've written one and it feels like there's an arc, and it's fun to play. Most importantly, if it's fun to play, then those stick around, and if I can get a good performance, then I'll record it. But yeah,
That's really interesting.
yeah,
I've never yeah, then when you add the other instruments and stuff sometimes too, and it always starts with your guitar, I'd imagine, right?
totally, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Do you
Mhm.
play any other? I see the banjo back there, but do you play?
Yeah, I play some banjo for sure. Definitely play some banjo. Been practicing the saw a lot.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Uh,
With a bow, I'm guessing, like the
yeah, with a
brass.
bow and a mallet as well.
Oh, so for those of you that don't know, it's literally like a big old wood saw,
Yeah.
and you bend it, and then you have a bow, or I'm not exactly sure how the mallet would work, but you have the
Yeah.
bow. You bend the saw, and when you do that, it makes a cool noise.
Yeah.
How does the mallet work?
Same thing. Like you just find that spot where it's resonating, and if you hit it right, then it's going to give that ghostly. Ooh.
Wow.
So.
So does any of your music have any saw in it?
Yes, I know. I recorded. I recorded a version of Sweet Potato Pie with the saw on there, but it's pretty
Oh,
hard to play. I'm not great at it yet. I won't lie.
maybe the next one, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe the next one. Couldn't
I'll
get a
say
great take of me playing it, so I just went with that.
my I my bluegrass. Okay, bluegrass is kind of what I really fell in love with when I had my moment and
Uh-huh.
going to bluegrass festivals and seeing people play some of these different types of instruments and stuff. And I remember the first time I saw somebody like some old hillbilly sitting on his chair and he was playing the saw and I just had never heard it. I was blown away. I was just
Yeah,
this guy's making that noise on a saw. This guy.
totally. It's more versatile than you'd think too. It's incredible. There's a great group here in town called Little Mazarn, that features a saw player. He's incredible.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. That's fun, man. That's fun. And Window Time, that was the first song I had heard of yours, and that
Yeah.
was kind of the only one I had saved for a while back when we had met. And I listened to that song over and over. We were talking earlier, and it just reminds me of a lot of people I know. And you're a plumber, and you're just
Yeah.
a normal guy for the most
Yeah.
part. And a lot of your stories are just about normal people doing normal stuff, feeling normal feelings.
Totally. Yeah.
Really brings out a feeling in people, just that normal feelings. And sometimes the sadness, sometimes the happy, sometimes it's just bopping around. And
Yep. Yeah.
Wintertime is really a good song for that. And
Yeah.
there's really fun parts in it. And like the little hook you got, I don't think I'll ever get over that or exactly.
Yeah. 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 It's hard to get over it. Like,
And the different times you say it throughout the song is like
mm.
talking about girl, talking about work, talking about, I don't remember what the third one
Yeah, my
is.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that one always kind of stuck in my head for a long time.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
then the next one you got is Dead Soldiers, and that one just kind of stood out to me. So what's going on, and what is this one? Where did this one come from you? Is it more of like an ode to like someone, or more of like a maybe a guilt for not,
Yeah.
what that song?
Well, Dead Soldiers, you know, uh, that song came out really quick, and it was when I was like kind of like having a weird relationship with alcohol. And so a dead soldier is like an empty beer can, it's like a name for an empty beer can.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like I had,
that.
and like I had I had them stacked up in my closet, and so there were just a bunch of dead soldiers behind my, the
Just staring at you.
AC unit is, and so that was just a song that came up, and I knew that it would be kind of relatable, and you know, just kind of your closet alcoholic song. Not that I don't know if I'm an alcoholic, but it just like it was like I was closeting uh, how much I was drinking for a moment in
Sure.
time, literally. So, but
Oh, a lot of people go through the same thing there, man.
yeah, totally, yeah.
And then, so the last song is Conflicting Stories, and what a story. I really love that song. And
Mhm.
is this is a personal story?
Yeah, totally a personal story. I wrote that song in the van, like my work van, and it was I wrote it like the anniversary of my dad's death. It's just a song about my dad. Just kind of a portrait of my dad who passed away, and he was complicated, and he had a lot of you know
Conflicting story.
conflicting parts of himself. And so and like the further you get from when someone's passed away, like the more kind of confusing the memories of them get, especially a parent, I'd imagine. So that
Yeah. So
every
how old were you when he had passed away?
what's that?
So how old were you when that had happened?
Oh, I was 20. Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry for that, man.
Oh, it's okay. Stuff happens, and I think that you know, I am who I am today because that happened, and so,
Definitely.
it's kind of, I've met people who have also lost their dads, and, it's kind of cool to see different people's takes on it and how people react to certain things, so.
Definitely. Definitely. And with that, what advice can you give to someone going through such a tragic loss like that?
Ooh. I don't know if I'm qualified to give advice. I think that what helped me the most was finding an outlet to express those feelings, though. Songwriting was that for me, obviously, and it gave me a space to, share like what I feel about it. And I think that's sharing how you feel about it. That's what I would say is the advice, in whatever form, because it's like just kind of dealing with it by yourself is probably not the best way.
It's got to come out somehow, that feeling, and if you find a
Yeah,
good creative way, huh?
totally. Yeah.
And I'd imagine your dad's in a little bit of all of the music that you have, probably. And
Oh yeah, yeah. He's definitely referenced in a lot of songs. So yeah.
yeah, okay. In this album, I felt it was really just kind of like turning into growing up and
Yep.
becoming an adult and living life, and then we got to take a moment to kind of remember where we came from and how we became who we were, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a great album.
Thank you.
I've shown it to quite a lot of people. So the next one after that is "Let Me Lie," right?
Yep. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen lots of tutorials for "Let Me Lie" on there, and
Like that guitar part. Yeah.
yeah. First song "Let Me Lie" is great. I wish I was riding my bicycle. It's just a really neat song, like just
Just a
everyday
fun one.
life and wanting to just. You're too busy in the plumber van when you'd rather be out riding
Yeah.
a bike and making a sandwich or
Yeah.
other examples in the song
Yeah, for sure.
and just the way you pick and tell your story with your guitar is just it's always fun.
Cool, man. Yeah, like that whole those 4 songs, I was like, I just want to do some fun songs,
A
So
little bit different than the last album.
yeah,
I'm on Your Side. I think that is probably my favorite song on that project. Is I'm on your
cool. Yeah,
that
great
one.
mandolin part by Eddie Collins.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was mandolin or if that was guitar.
Yeah, yeah. He's that bluegrasser I was telling you about in
Okay.
town, gives lessons and stuff, and is just a great guy, and had helped me get started recording and stuff, and he wanted to play on that song, and he
Okay.
one part down, and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, it sounded good. Yeah, that song really is a catchy song.
Cool.
And that one is that song personally? Did you write that about a romantic relationship or like a sibling? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I've got an older sister.
Okay.
But yeah, that song was definitely coming from a romantic point of view, but it was like post relationship, so
Sure.
it was like, well, like what I wish I could have just said I'm on your side about this shit type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, but
It's kind of interesting, like relationships and how you kind of relate them through music. And I have some songs that are not about a romantic relationship at all, but then people are like, "Oh yeah, this is such a good breakup song," or "such a good." It's like,
right.
what? Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah, yeah, it's fun to hear that. My best friend always says every song is a love song. So
Yeah, exactly, of some sort.
yeah,
Who's the love coming to, or where is it coming from, right?
yep,
All right. So what's the third? The third album you have out is Chesapeake Marigold.
yeah,
Re-
Mass Peak Marigold, yeah.
Really cool. This was a really cool project as well, and the first one is this title song, Massapequa.
Yeah,
Wow.
Massapequa.
Let's hear you say let's hear what's the title.
Massapequa Marigold.
There,
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
John Wheeler, and also for everybody watching, the cover art that this guy has on his projects are all super cool, super original. Check them out. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about some of the cover art right now.
Oh
Now,
yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah, you'll see. I mean, that one. I'll just turn the thing around. Is right there.
there it is. Okay, that one
And
was
yeah, my grandma was a super talented artist. So she did that one. She did the most recent one, and she also did an honest effort. And they're not like she didn't do them for them. These are all pieces of art that I just happen to have from her. And so I think it's cool because I don't think she got to share her art so much. So now it's like cool. It's gonna be on Spotify for everybody to see this thing right there.
yeah,
But
that is really cool. I mean, your art. Did she do all of the cover arts?
not all of them. The
Okay.
conflicting stories was Ethan Azarian, and he's a muralist in town and a painter and a songwriter, amazing songwriter. And just an amazing dude. He did that one, and then I have another friend, David Rodriguez Jr., who's a songwriter and an artist as well, who did Hyperego Sacrilege and did one more. Oh, he did What Are You So Scared Of as well. The picture of me
Okay.
riding a bike. Yeah,
Yeah, that one's kind of a really cool, like more of a sketchy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's very creative, very cool stuff. Very
yeah.
cool.
I'm grateful that she was able to do all those, so I have them to use. Yeah.
All right, so the next song, it's "A Lonely Life to Love an Only Friend." That's my favorite song that you have out.
Oh
By
wow.
I like a lot of your music a lot, but that
Mm.
song for me is I love that song. That song is awesome, dude.
Cool. I'm super happy to hear that. Yeah, that was the first time I kind of experimented with uh, different instrumentation by myself type of thing. That was a fun one. And it's a simple little guitar part, like you were saying in the
Yeah, I
email.
was gonna ask you, what exactly my question is. I know I should keep my heart more open, but I think I find some comfort in the pain, right? What a good line. I heard that song. I heard that line. I was just like, man, I just gotta write that down. That's just a lot of good lines like that in the song, and I
Yeah,
don't know what it is about that one, but I've been trying to figure it out. But that one really just resides in me.
cool.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like, man, what?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think people get kind of addicted to being sad sometimes, and I've definitely been guilty of it.
Definitely a memory more of in the past, and just it lives on in us and it's part of us. And but does making a song so instrumentally simple compared to your other more complicated songs, like, does it feel a little strange, or was it kind of like, I could add so much more? So I'm just,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think, I found that little groove on the guitar, and then I knew what I wanted the song to be about. That was one of those ones where I knew I wanted to write a song about this. And I just kind of needed like a palette to sing over, and so I found a nice little groove, and the words just kind of came out. That was a quick song, writing that song.
Came out, huh?
Yeah, and I think yeah, with something real simple like that, it's kind of more vulnerable vocally because it's like I gotta
Sure.
most time I'm singing along with my guitar, and somehow that feels safer. I don't know why, but
Sure, I can get that. You had to sing a little bit more in this song, maybe.
yeah, for sure. It was just more like, okay, I have to come up with a vocal melody and not just sing the guitar melody.
Yeah. No, I really like that song, man.
Cool,
That's
man.
a song. Great song. So, okay, what else we got? What's the next song after that? All right, let's go to The Problem Is Me. The Problem Is Me, that's another song that I really felt just, it really clicked. And I feel like I can, maybe in some ways, we're kind of similar in just life experience. And like, I just got that song. And like, what can you do? Like, sometimes it's everywhere, sadness and just people,
Yeah,
people, and
feels like the
it's
world's ganging up on you, kind of
like,
thing, and you're like, I get it, why.
what am I like? Is it all this stuff is happening to me? So it's got to be maybe me. Like, I have to be the reason, right? Like,
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah,
no, it's
sounds like
probably not true, and that's just the way the world is and people are. It's just, it's easy to, I don't know if it's easy, but I remember I had a time in my life not so long ago when I had just met, well, and I just remember thing after thing just kept happening. It's like, God, none of these things feel like they're my fault, but like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I remember I asked somebody I knew, I was like, is it me? Like, am I, and I just brought me back to that moment of just kind of really just a kind of a despaired moment and like a sad moment in my life where I was like, God, it's gotta be me. But
yeah.
sometimes it's just hate, even though it feels like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's honestly like I tried to put like a little humor in that song of like being, it's like so ridiculous, like everybody's ganging up on you kind of thing. But that's kind of just a hyperbolized thing of what you're talking about, like it just feels like everything's your fault, it must be your, yeah.
There's some other good songs on that album. Definitely check it out, everyone. But Curtains, I wanted to ask you about. So is this song, would you say, is this about growing up and starting on your own, or is this about like you need new curtains because you're onto a new relationship?
Yeah, I think I meant it in a way where it was new relationship for sure. It was just like I got to move out, and kind of tried to put some imagery like maybe she decorated the whole place, and so I'm
Right. Yeah.
gonna get my
You got to
own.
get new stuff because they had it all, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm like, then I was thinking, I was like, it could be that, but it's like, there also is a time where like you grew and you live on your own. It's like, oh man, I got nothing. I don't got no soap for the dishwasher. I don't got
yeah,
hand towels. I got nothing to wipe my shoes on.
yeah, totally. Yep.
Curtains. I'm sick of hanging up bed sheets that I've been keeping up for years.
Yeah, yeah, it can totally be interpreted that way for sure. So,
Right. So the next one we have, the next one you released is, and a lot of these kind of came out pretty quick. It felt like, or kind of right next to each other. Even it
yep.
seemed within, you kind of like two releases, like the first two, and then there was like the next three, kind of
Yeah.
came out like close to each other, and then the one that just came out. Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Why did that kind of happen?
I think when I try to write like the songs that I record close to each other, or if it's like, or like in the last one is a little bit different, but like those songs especially, I was writing them and I kind of in my head, like I was saying before, it's just like that. I want to have that freedom to just make stuff without the consequence, not put too much weight on the releases, just kind of put it out there and move on so I can keep writing.
Right.
Um, that was the case with all of those. They all came and they felt like, thematically, they worked together. And so then as soon as I got the free time, I'd sit down and record them. And I think the quickness of it is kind of what gives them that DIY energy.
Sure.
And
So what is your recording situation like at your home? You said most of it's been done at home. The first album was done with the buddy.
mhm.
The three in between were done at home, and then the newest one, did you say was done?
Yeah, here I was here as well. The first one I recorded in this new house. I just moved into here about 5 months ago. So,
Oh, nice.
um, but yeah, it's here. The only one that was sort of unique is An Honest Effort, which I recorded on just like a Tascam multi-track.
Oh,
Recorded
when we were
all.
chatting, when we had just met, I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah, yeah. And so I figured out finally how to use it, and it made things super simple, and it kind of gives that project its own sound, which I like. But yeah, An Honest Effort. Yeah, those songs, they definitely were meant to be grouped together because I was writing them together, and and then
Sure.
you know,
Okay.
yeah,
So Low Down Cranky was just a really fun song. Like
yeah. Not
just
personally true, but somebody I know's story, like
sure.
without any embellishment, like kind of a fun story for my friend Brittany. But
Yeah, you'll have to guys, go check out if you're watching. Go check out that song. It's really fun. I'm not gonna talk about that one because you should go check it out. It's cool. Then the next song was just a knife to the heart. Just
oh,
a big old 10-foot spear all the way through. Just
yeah,
in a
yeah.
slow process of sadness.
Yeah, that my friend had a tumor on her liver,
Oh
um,
wow.
and it was pretty scary there for a moment, and it's my best friend, and uh,
Oh,
so we were all pretty worried about her, and um, she's a songwriter and appreciates a song written for her, I think, and so. Uh,
but did she pass away?
no, no, she did not. She's all good.
Great to hear. What's her name? Does she have any music?
Juliet. Yeah, she doesn't have any music out, but I'm sure it's down the pipeline pretty far. After we do this, I'm actually going to go see her play
Nice.
at the Hole in the Wall, and it's yeah, she's a great friend. I lived with her for 3 years, and we were friends for years before that.
What is her style like?
Um, what is her style like? She is she's got a powerful voice, and she writes fun songs that are and she has a unique perspective. um she's writing folk songs for sure, that I can hear with a band. She hasn't recorded yet, but I hope she does something with like a full band, and like gives, like, her songs are very big, they're grand. And
Okay, cool.
so pretty cool, great songwriter, Juliet Goldstein. Yeah,
Julia Goldstein. Everybody go check her out. Give her a follow.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that was definitely a sad song. It was
Yeah.
it was
Um,
a good one, man. In My Stomach was great. An Honest Effort, that's just flexing, just mad skills. That's what I thought. I was like, all right, he's just showing off now.
a fun tuning,
Oh, really? What is it tuned in?
that was one that I felt, I couldn't tell you exactly what the notes are, but it's some sort of C open chord, and like the bottom E string's tuned all the way up to G, so I couldn't keep it there too long because that put too much stress on the guitar, I think.
I'll
But
see, like, man, you guys, this just shows levels to like guitar skills because this guy can come in, he can play in all sorts of different tuning. Like, that's not easy. I
I
don't
hear a lot of people say they're like, "Oh man, I'm not good enough to play an open tuning," but I think it's the opposite. I think that like an open tuning, it makes things easier, and in some ways, like, you can just follow your ear, and like you're not worried about shapes or anything like that. You're just following your ear, uh and like kind of more things sound naturally good in an open tuning. you can use a lot of open notes and stuff. So
That's really interesting. It just seems like a whole nother world. Like, I mean, I've played a few songs and some other tunings. Like, only one I've ever really tried. I don't know. Have you ever heard the song Barcelona by George Ezra?
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
it's
Yeah,
like, I don't
open
know
D,
exactly
right?
B, yeah, open B tuning or
Oh,
something. Like,
open D. Oh, like yeah, with the D.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. It's been a while, but
No, you're good.
I uh I just don't even know where to start. Like,
Right.
maybe you should give a lesson on that on your TikTok.
Yeah, for
Like that
sure.
one, like and a retweet, reshare or whatever.
Yeah.
But so are a lot of your songs in random tunings or
Um, I think this last the yeah, a lot of songs I do not in like necessarily random. Like I stay open D is the one I go to the most.
that's totally drop down D?
Yeah, it's like drop D and then it's D A D F sharp A D. So
Oh,
it's like an open D chord.
okay.
And then open C is where I've been playing mostly lately, and that's like John Fahey wrote in open C a lot, and Jack Rose. Um, a
So
lot.
when you're playing, so what does that process look like, dude? So when you just like look up like an open key and then you start messing around in there and just kind of start picking cool things and just or
Yeah. Sometimes I'm learning a song and I find the tuning like that. Like when I went through a big Nick Drake phase, and so I was playing just in his little special tuning that he had for a long time. And then you just kind of start noodling in the tuning. Or, like my favorite thing to do sometimes is just to kind of don't even think about what notes you're tuning it to, and just kind of until you strum it and it's kind of stir something, and then see
it's
if you can make something up.
really a cool creative process.
Yeah, just kind of having fun with it. That's the most important part. Just having fun. Yeah.
I'll have to, I've never even done that. I'll have to try that sometime.
Definitely do it. Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah.
What? Oh, okay, okay. So the last song on Honest Effort is Bestest Fur. Wait, that's not the last song. The second to
Not the
last one.
last one, but it's close. Yeah.
It's the second to last one.
Yeah.
Maybe,
And then I
but
did the only cover I ever did on there is Mac the
yeah,
Knife.
it's the knife, Mackie knife. Is that what it
Mac
was?
the Knife. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's from an
yeah,
old play. It's like an old musical song, but I heard Dave Van Ronk play it and then kind of made my own version of it.
yeah. It
So
was really cool. I I'd seen that as some other people had, or I kind of looked into that one. There's like a lot of big names who did that song. It's a really cool.
totally. Yeah.
Bestest Fur is really a kind of an interesting song. I thought. What's going on in that story? Like, is it about a dog?
Um, well, part of what a lot of times in these, when I'm about to finish recording them, I'm like, I just need one more song. And so I'll write it and record it in about 4 hours. And I always think this is going to give it like cool energy. And then, and it does. I'm always like happy with those songs because it's like a good memory of them. But, I think that song came from a feeling of just like, I definitely just worked with asbestos in an asbestos situation at work, and I kind of just felt like I was covered in it, and it just felt like a reason. One
Yeah.
of those reasons why people might be staying away.
Oh,
But
I get it. I get it.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
That's a fun song. I kind of was listening to it over. I was like, huh, what a song.
An interesting one for sure. I know what you mean.
But now I felt the feeling too, or like insulation, when you're up there and
Yeah.
all you got a bunch of
Ah,
insulation
that's
on
the
you,
worst feeling ever. Yeah.
feeling all nasty.
Yeah.
Don't touch me, don't look at me. Let me go home and
Oh,
shower
yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Then we go into hyper ego sacrilege.
Yeah.
Is instantly you definitely kind of feel a difference in this song in the album, at least in the first song, like leaving home. I felt like it had a different kind of presence, kind of atmosphere to it. Where
Yeah.
did that come from? Kind of, well, yeah, where did
Um,
that one come from?
I'd written all those songs, and I recorded all of those songs in a 4-day period, and I was just feeling maximally like, am I allowed to cuss?
Oh, I don't care.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was just feeling like the most maximum fuck it energy. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
it's like I was just like I was shooting everything, like those first noises you hear in that song are just me harmonizing kazoos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so
Wow, that's awesome.
I was just like having a good time. You know, I think the songs are heavy, but I was having a fun time recording them because the energy was different, like you say, like in the songs. And so, I wanted to make something that like kind of hit harder than the stuff I'd made previously. So
Definitely, it definitely did. It was really, really a cool way to start off the album, and drums, bells, and harps. I just wanted to say it was a beautiful, beautiful song.
thank you.
Great
Yeah.
job again. Used car lot, like with that, that one. It's the life, I get it. It's a really cool song, and I personally like when I heard that song, I was like, dude, I would love to hear this in like a bluegrass circle. Like people,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to any like bluegrass festivals or like anything kind of like that. Where up here in Minnesota, there's like, you got all your daytime festivals, and then you got your nighttime campfire festival where, people just come. They come from all over the state, all over the surrounding states, and you've got a neurosurgeon banjo player playing right next to some homeschooled kid who's like a whiz at the violin. And they all just
Yeah.
take turns, like, this song and the key of this, and we'll all take turns, and
Yeah,
everybody plays
totally.
turns, and everybody's harmonizing. And when I heard Used Car Lot, I was like, man, I would love to hear this song in one of these circles.
Yeah, I think it would do well with that. Yeah, I play a show with three other songwriters, and that's a fun one to play and see what all they're just gonna throw on.
Out,
Uh,
yeah, definitely a cool song. Definitely a cool song. Okay, and then your newest release, okay, Map of an Impulse.
yeah.
Why don't you give me a little bit of promoting here?
Okay.
Hear what you say about it.
Yeah, I think that's I wanted to I wanted to go back in the other direction and just make something like earthy and honest with this one. Um, the first song is the Sweet Potato Pie is like the oldest song that I play out, and it's the first song that I ever played at an open mic. It's
Oh, really nice.
yeah, and always it's all and it's stayed with me. And just recorded it the way that I play it. It's just a live take. Um,
Oh, really? That's really cool.
yeah, there's a few live takes on there. All the instrumentals are live takes.
Really, and half of the songs on this album were instrumentals.
Yep.
What, 4 out of the 8 were instrumentals.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
why did you kind of decide to do that?
I think that I felt I was writing them like all the other songs I wrote alongside the instrumentals, and I had that idea where I just wanted like if in an ideal world people are listening to these projects all the way through, and so I thought it would kind of nice little bridges to each of the songs with lyrics, but also I think that I'm trying to tell stories with those songs as well with the instrumentals and give a feeling that can lead into the next one.
So
Um,
your albums, do they kind of? I feel like they do kind of have themes to them. It seems like.
yeah, I try to keep it thematic. They're not concept albums by any means, but they are. I try to thematically at least line them up a little bit. So
Sure.
yeah.
And then our second, let's see. Yep. Map of an Impulse. Is that the first song?
No, that's just the name
Oh
of
yeah,
the.
that wait, yeah, sorry, that is
Yeah,
Sweet Potato Pie. Then what is it? Five for Fahey.
yeah,
Giving your boy some ode to one of your heroes, kind of.
totally. Yeah, and it's in 5/4, so I was. It seemed like the appropriate title. Yeah,
Okay, yep. Then Stay Boy Stay. That was an interesting one. Rose
yeah,
of the Taj Mahal. I think that one was really pretty as well. They're all
cool.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's another ode. It's two players I like, Jack Rose and Taj Mahal. So
oh, Taj Mahal, the singer. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So he's great finger picker and stuff too, and
Know him
that.
a little bit. I remember he was on a Jack Johnson concert further on down the road. Have you ever heard that song?
Yeah, yeah, I have totally. I've
Oh,
played
down the
that
road,
festival together.
baby. With
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah. He's awesome, man.
he's
He's
got a
amazing.
lot of style and just a lot of swag with him.
Oh yeah, totally.
Then E Tandem. Yep, I'm guessing that's in the key of E by chance.
No, but it's
Got me.
I put it there's like a little electric keyboard on that, and that song is sort of another homage to Fahey playing Bicycle Built for Two.
Okay.
So it's like if you hear the song Bicycle Built for Two and that song, it's almost like I try to write like a sequel
An
to
E10.
Bicycle Built for Two and E Tandem. Yeah.
You'll have to send you'll have to send me like a playlist of some of these singers that you're talking about today because I really haven't heard of many of them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool.
That would
Yeah.
be awesome. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
Fahey, I feel like I've seen the name on like talking about guitarists and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever dove into it, you know?
Yeah. He's great. He's just an instrumental guitarist. He kind of created the genre of guitar playing that I like aspire to,
What did you call it? You call it rag?
or American primitive.
American.
That's
Okay.
what he called it. Well, I guess somebody called it that, and he adopted it. And there have been a lot of players, like Leo Kottke is probably the most famous one to come out of that, genre. But there's a lot of great players that are just solo instrumentalist guitarists that play that style. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if you were to make like a playlist of some of these artists that you liked and you were to kind of put it out or you could share it, like I think you can share it on Spotify and stuff. You can like share your own personal playlist. I bet people would love that because
Oh yeah.
see kind of where you kind of come from on these guitar skills and like some of these other people that are a little more obscure to you know what I'm saying. Not
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah. Totally.
is, and I bet you people would love it because they love what you got to do and they love what you be putting out. And what do we got? We got after that we got When You Let Her Go. That one was really a catchy, sweet song.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the When You Let Her Go, you let her go for good. Yep.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. That song was really written about my guitar. I was
Oh wow, see, and that's
yeah.
what my songs are so interesting because
Yeah, I was just I kind of tried to make it seem like it wasn't about my guitar, but it's sometimes you're just not connecting, and then I feel like okay, I just have to let it go.
right. So what happened? You had to trade it or give it away or what?
No, no, it's just like even just like playing guitar, like that communion that happens when you sit down and you're just like really feeling it and playing. Sometimes I can't tap into that. And then when I can't tap into it for a long period of time, those are the darkest days where I'm just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And so that's kind of where that song came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like I have a song called Late Night Stanley. That's the name of its song, and it's you think it's about a guy that I know, but it's actually about my first car.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
That's
same thing.
coming out on a recent on the upcoming EP I'm working on or whatever. But
Nice.
it's when I perform and stuff. People are like, oh, dude, who's Stanley? You know? Like,
Yeah.
it's all the trouble I was causing when I was riding Stanley. I
Right.
we'll see, how many people watch this podcast and in the future when it comes out if they can remember. But I my first car was a '94 Nissan Pathfinder, older
Nice.
than me, but it was a pretty cool car. And I remember I bought it from some old lady, and she told me that her kids named it Stanley because one day when they were kids, they were playing hide and seek in their house, and mom wasn't home, and they had this really grumpy old neighbor, and he was just like this old World War II vet, just grumpy, angry, never had time for kids, and old. And they said that they were playing hide and seek, and they tripped and they fell in the drawstrings by curtains wrapped around their neck, one of their necks, and they were like hanging there, and they were like
Oh my
choking.
God.
This old man saw from the window from like across the street, and he like bursts through the door, and he runs over, and the door's locked, and he like kicked the door down, and he like they saved her life. And she said because of that they named the car after old Stanley. So
Wow.
you're gonna name it, can you please just name it Stanley? And I was like, well, what's the story? And they told me the story. Like, yes,
That's
this is
so
Stanley
cool.
until he dies.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
kind of an interesting story from our car. But
Amazing story. Yeah.
and then after, I that car I bought, and I drove around the country after I graduated high school for a few months, and I lived on couches, and I lived on in the car and hostels and on the beach. And Stanley was a big part of my life kind of for a while. So,
Nice.
so I, but
Stanley's not around anymore.
no, Stanley's rest in peace. The
Yeah.
axles, I remember I was driving home one day, and the axle broke in half, and I was like turning, and I could just like feel the axle separating. Like, oh,
That's not good.
Stanley got drove into the ground. But
Yeah. Well,
just
that's
what some people write songs about, and then it's just like, oh yeah, that's nothing to do with what I thought it was about.
you're right.
And then now your last one, From Flood to Faucet, which is the one I'm seeing a lot on TikTok, and I
Mhm.
think I've seen quite a bit.
Yep.
So why is this the one that I'm seeing more? Just is this one kind of your favorite, or is this a
Yeah,
crowd?
I think it's my favorite. The title is like I told you I moved here like 5 months ago to this house, and there's a park, Lake Walter Long, really close that um, nobody's ever at. And so I can kind of bring my guitar and sit and play and not be bothered and not bother my girlfriend, playing there. And I'm just grateful for that park. And so, and Walter E. Long's a name in Austin everywhere. Like there's a bunch of places named after him. And so I kind of just looked into what he had, and he wrote this book, From Flood to Faucet, and so, which is sort of like uh, a history of like the water districting and damming of Lake Austin. Uh,
Okay.
so it's not like a light reading or anything, and not like but there's some interesting facts and stuff. But I just I thought the title was really poetic and kind of stole it and felt like it was, like
A little homage to
saying
home.
thank you for the park.
Yeah, you're a creative guy, man. I like it's really cool to see where you kind of can draw your influences and where your creativity comes from and kind of how your mind works a little bit. It's
Well,
been really cool talking with you, man.
yeah, I appreciate it.
So what's that?
I said I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. But so if you are to have a new listener from this, or new listeners in general, and you want them to start somewhere with your music and your stuff, where would you send them there? Tell them where you want them to start.
I think starting at conflicting stories is the right way, just start at the beginning. That's what I like to do with most artists. I like, start at the beginning and kind of listen to their development. And I think that's the way to do it, because that's the most about me. So, and it's
Yeah.
got fun
Okay.
little finger picking stuff, or just, listen to some people that I admire, like some of these Austin songwriters, Matthew Electrician, Matthew Payne, these guys. But
Okay. I had another question for you. I didn't put in the questions I sent you that I just thought of as so you were started off as a guitar player. So when did singing kind of come into the picture for you? You have a
um,
very nice voice, so I'd
appreciate
assume that you would were singing as long as you were playing guitar, but
No, yeah, I think I don't know where or why it started. I think I just, I've always had fun with words. Like I wrote poems and stuff in college, and I'm a pretty avid journaler. And so it just felt like some of the times I would be thinking I writing an instrumental, and then it turns out like I was like, it'd be good, like I could sing over this, and so it just kind of started with experimenting by myself with my guitar, just experimenting with my voice and seeing if it was fun and it felt good, and it started to feel good and felt fun. So then I wanted to get better at it.
sure. No, I get that. Yeah, well, you got a great voice, man. And then what's going on with your performing life? Are you out there performing? Are you basically going to watching? What's going on?
Yeah, I go to a lot of shows for sure. I play less shows now than I did 6 months ago. Just work has changed. I'm on call pretty frequently now. And
Bummer.
so there's a lot of that, and I've just tried to be more selective about the shows I'm playing. But I still play a couple times a month around town, and but yeah, I go see a lot of shows for sure.
What
But
does a gig that you're playing look like? Are you pretty much by yourself? Do you have a band sometimes or what?
I played with a band one time for a video performance, and that was fun to do. But I do like this playing solo. I like being in control, and not having to feel guilty about getting people to learn my songs and stuff like that. And there's a lot of places you can do that here, which is lucky for me. Um, and so a lot of times I'm doing songwriter rounds though, which is super fun, especially like with the
Kind of
people.
like a shorter gig, maybe, or
What's that?
it's kind of like a shorter gig, maybe, or how? What is it?
Yeah, well, it's like where we all sit next to each other and swap. We do like a song swap on stage. you know, and so I've become friends with a lot of these people I'm doing that with. So we
They
have,
play your song.
yeah, they'll play on my song and I'll play on their song
So
if we can,
you'll sing the song and you'll play your song and they'll just kind of play along with you.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
And if they have something, or they'll just listen, and it kind of depends on the song and the person that you're playing with. I'm like the kind of person that doesn't play a ton on other people's songs because I'm a little bit afraid to ruin them. But
yeah, it's hard sometimes.
yeah, it can be tough.
You're definitely skilled enough, man. You should feel that way.
Well, there's some amazing guys, some crazy good harmonica players and stuff here.
Oh
That,
wow, that's something I've been looking for a while here in the whole state of Minnesota is good harmonica player because it's really something else. Do you know
yeah,
how to play that harmonica at all?
not super well. I can blow into it and
Oh man,
do a scale or something.
piano man and stuff.
Yeah. But when you see someone that can really play the harmonica, it's like, whoa, that's really
Right,
cool. Yeah. And it can add so much. But
right.
yeah.
Well, I told you there was gonna be like a 15 to 20-minute interview, and it's way longer. So I
Oh,
appreciate you coming by and
yeah, no worries.
chat. I hope people can see this and listen to your music, and I'm really excited to see where you go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your journey as well. It's cool that we met in this fashion, So yeah.
Yeah. Any last words you got for some people watching?
No, thank you. Thank you for listening. If you're listening, So, and thank you,
There
John.
he is, John
Yeah.
Wheeler, everybody.
All right.
All right. Oh, who's a good girl? Oh, Marcy, Marcy, Marcy. Oh, so cute. Yep, you. Buried to my knees. Now I can't breathe. I can't see straight. I can't feel my face. Would you please not let this love go to waste?